Hey everybody, I wanted to go over the answers to exam 3, and this is long answer question number 2, and I like this question because it asks you to think and give verbal, or not verbal, but written answers as opposed to doing math. And so I think that this is a kind of a really good conceptual question. So now Part A of this question says predict the signs of the entropy change. So keep in mind that the entropy change is based on gas, almost always, unless there's no gas there. So the entropy change here, it's like we have three moles of gas here because we have 2 plus 1 goes to 2 moles of a liquid. So that is definitely going to become less random. So the sign of the entropy change is negative. And that's because you have 3 moles of gas reacting to form no moles of gas, okay, or something along those lines, right? So there's less moles of gas in the products than in the reactants, something that tells us that. Okay. Now, this problem says, what if the delta S, what if this were gas instead of a liquid? Well, what would the value, how would it change? And so it's still negative because it's going from 3 to 2, but it's going to get closer to 0. It's going to be less negative. The value is going to increase. Okay, and it's hard to explain that correctly. Okay, you could say, or become less negative, just because if you say it gets bigger, that is right. But like when you think about negative numbers, like which one's bigger, -10 or -1,000? Well, -10 is bigger because -1,000 is further down on the number line. So just be careful of that. Okay, and then C, it says, what is the sign of the reaction? Okay, this was probably the easiest question on the whole thing, on the whole test, and that's negative because it says spontaneous. Okay, absolutely synonymous with each other. Okay, so now D I really like because we have to predict the sign of delta H. Okay, so we know that delta G equals delta H minus T delta S. And so this is a negative delta S, and this is a negative delta G. Well, the only way that this is going to be a negative value here, or a spontaneous reaction, is if our delta H is also negative. Okay, this starts off negative, and then it subtracts a positive. So at low temperatures, it doesn't subtract it, but it subtracts a negative, so it adds a positive. So at low temperatures, this guy is going to stay negative. The higher the temperature, the more likely it is to be non-spontaneous. So, but the only way that this can happen is if your delta H is negative. Okay, so that was quick, but that was question number 2, the long answer section of the exam. Have a great day.